presentation on the email analysis automation and SIM integration. You can recall the other session we had, Team B were not actually ready with their presentation. Okay, however, uh, we'll be starting the presentation afresh, starting with Team A and then Team B. So, but for today, we'll be going in, into the digital investigation project. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. So, um, like I said, our project for today will be digital investigation, and we'll be using two tools actually, which is Wireshark and Hex Editor. So if you are using Linux, I believe I saw a section like that. No worries. Yes, you can use your inbuilt Wireshark. Okay, it's all the same anyway. So you must have heard that whatever action you take online, um, a digital trace, right? It's a footprint, right? And uh, that's a summary of digital investigation. That's basically means that we are able to uncover what happened. Well, this is actually important for a lot of reasons. When you begin to troubleshoot, okay, it's important for that, for audit purposes, and also from a technical perspective, when you're trying to uncover what someone must have done, what the user must have done, or what he assessed, sites he visited, and all that, right? So we use tools such as Wireshark, okay, to uncover um, those kind of issues. So for today, we have a background information, we have a scenario which we're going to work towards, okay, and that reminds me, I'll leave this in the chat. So this is the packet capture file which we'll be using. So I'll leave it in the chat, okay? I believe you already have Wireshark and Hex Editor downloaded, okay? So this is the packet capture. Loading Wireshark to actually uncover what happened in this scenario, right? So I'll quickly go through it. We say, okay, a laptop has been flagged, okay, by our security systems due to unusual network traffic. So your task is to investigate the captured network activity and use the insights gained to answer specific questions regarding the incident, right? So we'll analyze the packet capture file containing the user's recent network communications, right? And this file may contain multiple artifacts, right? So the objective is to identify what images were viewed, what files were accessed or downloaded, and any other relevant activity, right? So, and that takes us to one key concept that will help us, in this investigation. Okay, and that is what we call file signatures or magic numbers. So, whenever you have a file such as a JPG, PNG, PDF, zip file, okay, the computer understands it differently, right? And that's what we call magic numbers or file signatures, right? That wherever you see in its raw form a file type, with containing this, because it's encoded. When you see it contains FFD8 and it ends with FFD9, basically um, don't get distracted in the noise. That's exactly where the payload is. That's exactly where the file is, right? And this will begin to make sense when we um, do this practically, right? So, and also, um, you can join this program, okay? Here, I also copy this, so you can get a certificate of completion, and also this is where you get to answer the security questions, okay, to mark the successful completion of this project. Like I told you, there were questions at the end, knowledge-based questions, just test what if you really understood everything about this, right? So I've put it in the chat. It doesn't require approval. You just request it. On the go, you can you can enroll in the course. So, like I said, this will begin to make sense when we do this practically, right? So I've sent in link to download the packet capture file. You download it, okay, and then you can start Wireshark, right? This is what the packet capture file looks like, right? So now we are in Wireshark, right, with the user's network activity, right? So just a quick one till this point. Is anyone? Do you have any concern till this point? Any concern? Do you have any challenge? If at all you have any challenge or any question or anything is not doesn't sit, Yep, Mr. Moyo.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I want to ask, most of these downloads we are going to be downloading, are we going to can we use our VM environment or the normal PC? That's,
Yeah, you can use your VM, you can use your normal environment, it's not infected. Whatever
because,
file, yeah,
okay. Because
yeah,
the because I guess we have the Wireshark on the candy.
yeah, 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 you can use it. You can use it.
Okay.
Sense of this. Okay. Whenever you are using Wireshark, okay, not just Wireshark, even on Splunk or whatever tool, and you're trying to make sense of important concepts you need to consider, right? And that takes me to a concept we call method. Okay. Whatever method you use, we have methods such as get, such as post, such as delete, such as put. Okay, and this means different things, right? So whenever you log in to a service, to an application, regardless, Facebook, X, or Instagram, whatever, you log in, you are actually initiating a post method. You're going through a post method, right? That's what we call a post method. When you're chatting, right? It's an outbound from you, so it's post, right? However, when you are downloading or retrieving, it's a get method, right? When you're trying to remove something, okay, or a file, service from running, delete method. When you're trying to include something or rather upload, it's put. Okay, so this is important because it gives us stress when we know, okay, what we are actually looking for. If we want to check what you must have accessed, what you must have downloaded. I guess you now know what method to use. So just a quick one, let me hear. What method do you think we should use when we want to know what someone has downloaded? Can anyone please tell me? If you want to check what method, what file you actually downloaded, what method do you think we should use? Should it be a post method? Should it be a get method? Should it be
Get. I think you
get method? Perfect. So if we are using a get method, and mind you, if you want to narrow down to filter out the noise and just be left with just HTTP traffic, or if it's HTTPS or TCP, you can narrow it down from here. Okay, use the filter and you narrow it down. So, but in this case, okay, we can see that um there are a couple of gets. We can see some file extensions here, right? We can see BNS 02, which is in PNG. We can see BNS 01, which is in JPG. We can see another get BNS 03. We can see this is PDF. Okay, and we can see BNS 04, which is a zip file, right? So assuming we just want to see uh, assuming we just want to see get method or the post, you can use this command, right? You can filter out with this. Okay, you can see it's filtering out and leaving just the get method, right? And if you wanted to see if how you logged in, okay, use the post or chat activities, right? And you can see right here, you have it here, right? So at this point, we're interested in the get method because right from the instructions here, right, you're trying to see what our objective is to identify what images were viewed, what files were accessed to downloaded, and any other relevant activity. And as you can see here, uh, it shows information relating to port, the IP address, source, and destination, right? Time to live, protocol used, even the header you can see here, right? And have more information about that. So quickly, if I wanted to see uh, what file, so I'll look for the PNG, okay, while taking note of its file signatures, right? The first thing you will want to do is to follow its TCP strip right here, okay? And you check in its raw. It could be in ASCII, be in a different form. However, we are interested in its raw because that's what we need the hex editor for, right? Carve out binary so you can just use the extension and get back the file, right? So that takes me back to the signature, okay? And we said, okay, for JPG, it starts with FFD8 and ends with FFD9, right? We say for PNG, okay, and say it starts with 89504E 47 this, and it ends with 4945 blah 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 0 6082. So in a nutshell, This is what I'm looking for right here. 8950, right? So carefully we look at it here. Okay. And as you can see, it's here, right? 89504E47, blah 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 blah. Right? This is a global standard. It's same for every PNG you get to see, right? So you take it down most of the times. Well, for JPG, I believe you'll be able to see it when we are doing that. Okay, what happens when you don't copy this all? It means you don't get to view every part of the image. It means you just get half, you know, uh, not complete, incomplete part of the image. So in this case, we are taking it down to where a PNG should actually stop, and I'm copying it. Okay, I've copied. Now I'll move into my hex, but before that, okay, I'll create a folder just so you know. Okay, this is an empty folder. Just and I'll name it SHG cell I. I name it like this. This folder is empty, right? This is where I'll be saving the files. So since I've already copied, I'll come down here to new. I'll paste inside it, right? So I'll save it as BNS, let's say 01, or just so we don't get it mixed up. Okay, I'll send it as artifact 01 dot. This is very important. You have to include the file extension. So for this, it's a PNG file. Okay, and I'll save it in the folder we just downloaded, right? Which is the digital eye. So I'll save it here. Okay, so I'll come, and as you can see, we have the image here, right? And this is same for all file extensions that are included, in this project, right? You see how easy it is. But when you begin to look at when you begin to look at this pickup, okay, you find out that okay, other than what he accessed, there's also a post, right? That okay, the user logged into a service, right? And how do you get to see? And one thing about passwords encoded is that it can be decoded, right? Because it's not encrypted, right? So just by checking at HTML um, form, you can be able to get passwords and all. And that's why it's very important, that as a measure, cybersecurity best practices, that passwords are encrypted, are hashed, right? It's very important, right? That they are encrypted, rather, right? So, and as you can see, this also forms part of the delivery, and we can be able to, we can see it visible on Wireshark, right? And we also have a chat. So the user must have, since it's a post, it means the user must have also sent a message, right? So, and as you can see, this is encoded base 64, which means it can actually be decoded, right? So before I proceed to do another file extension, does anyone have any concern at all? Do you have any concern? Any challenge? Is it clear? What do you think? Can I proceed? Well, if you can hear me. Okay, okay. So I'll go ahead, okay, to I'll go ahead to do JPG, okay, and I'll let you do PDF and also the zip. So don't forget the request method is get to actually have insights into what a user must have accessed. Okay, and it's same, for every time you are requesting a service on the internet. It's same. Whenever you try to log in a service to an application, you are using a post method. Okay, and this filter can actually filter out whatever you must have done while requesting such services, such as login, chats, and all. Right? And if it's what you access to download it, it's a get method, right? And that's why we're using this. Okay. So I'll go ahead and do the same for JPG. Okay. Don't forget we're following its TCP stream. Okay, and we said it ranges from FFDA to FFD9. But guess where it gets interesting? Because you see, sometimes when uh, this is being encoded, when uh, uh, when a resource generally is being encoded, sometimes, okay, um, it gets to trick you when you are doing this investigation. And that's something I've noticed over time, that you get to see some ending part of um, the magic number, within its within the raw file. However, that's not the end. So if you were to copy it from there, you have an incomplete image. And here's what I mean. So when I type FFD9, you see it's coming with various ending types, signatures, misleading signatures for misleading end of the JPG signature, right? However, if I were to copy this from here, okay, F59, assuming has copied it till here, the beginning, right? And I copy and I paste it here, right? I'll just go on and paste it. And I paste insert it, right? Save as, assuming I'm to save it as artifact O2. Don't forget file extension, very important. .jpg. I'm already in digital I folder, so I'll save it. Okay, what happens when I get here? I find out that okay, the image isn't complete, right? It isn't complete because it's not been constructed fully, right? So when you scroll down, when we begin to find the last one, right? If FFD9 isn't here and the last one is probably around here or around here However, there's no more FFD9 under it, then that should be the complete, um, that should be the end of the signature. So for this, I'll copy from here, right? Up until the beginning, which is FFD8, right? So I'll stop here at FFD8. As you can see, this is the beginning of the file signature. And if I were to, I paste insert it, right? And I save as, call it artifact O3. This is the complete one. So if it's a JPG and I save it, well, then I get the complete image, right? So, and this is same, like I said, um, for all file extensions, for every JPG you come across, the file extension is same. It's FFTA to FFT9, right? For PNG, it's same. Okay, it's a universal standard, right? So, what do you think? Yep, Mr. Chief.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Ali.
Yeah.
This is my first time with Wireshark, so I'm still trying to. I'm hoping probably maybe when I watch the video, but I wanted to just ask a question. You said
Yeah.
for every PNG and JPEG, they always start with that. Is it FF8 and then end with FF9?
FFD8, FFD8, and it ends with FFD9.
Okay, so that's how we know
Yeah,
that they are picture file.
yeah, that's how we get to know that not just a picture file, that this is a JPG. Because if you were to uh um for instance, okay, if you were to copy everything, you get nothing, when you try to, because it's encoded, right? If you understand what I mean, because it's encoded, so you wouldn't get the required output unless you are copying exactly the beginning and the end of it, because in essence because that's the essence of encoding, to actually hide it, right? So for um for PNG, for JPG, right, it starts with FFD8 and ends with FFD9. For PNG, okay, 8950, this, and ends with this. For PDF, it starts with this and it ends with this. Okay, and it's true for every PDF, PNG, or JPG file you may get in a network capture. Right? Hope I've answered you.
Yes. Sorry, I have one more question. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm dragging you back.
Yeah.
Now for this digital investigation, what we
Yeah.
are doing is we are trying to analyze, will I say, a company's internet access,
Network, rather.
network access. Thank you,
Yes.
network access, and from this we could. Oh, sorry. From this, we could actually start capturing what users are sending over the network.
Basically, when you use Wireshark on a network as an administrator, you're gaining insights into everything everyone on that network is doing, right? That's what Wireshark is used for. Every request to your server, every request that goes through your routers, your switches, all the security informations, you'll be able to capture that, right? but you can only reconstruct that with hex editor. Okay, and that's where both become powerful, right? You make sense of that data, using hex, especially when you're trying to view um, what users must have accessed. Okay, and that is particularly true. It's helpful when you're trying to cop stuff like data exfiltration, okay, cop insider attacks and all that. When you're trying to troubleshoot, you know, that's where you begin to see Wireshark in action, right? So I'm assuming, um, okay, this is where you can capture packets, assuming we are on a network, right? Assuming we are on a network, this is where you get to capture packets. You start capturing for that's everything that is happening, every request you are making. Once you are here in this network, on the same network, then I'll be able to see everything, right? Okay, whatever request you are making, whatever data you're sending, and that is why we are able to see what a user here has actually done. So this is a simulated pickup, you know, comprising of what a user must have accessed, okay, on the network, right? If you understand what I mean, Mr. Chike.
Yes, I understand, sir.
Okay.
So, quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, like this image file now, it must
Mm-hmm.
start from the FF08. Like, there's no other number. So once we just see FF08, we know that okay, yeah, this is a PNG file, or this is an image JPG file. Like, there's
F
no
FFD8.
okay, sorry, FFD8. But like
Yeah.
when we see these letters and numbers, we know that okay, this is a PNG file, right? Like,
Exact.
does it have any other number or just
No.
mostly this one?
No.
Uh,
That's why I said is a universal standard,
oh,
right?
nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So and it's different, for PDF. It's
Okay.
also different for JPG. So for zip as well, right? So
Uh,
this is
okay.
the workflow, right? You get the pickup, you analyze, okay, you collect the evidence, which is what we've done, right?
Yeah.
And here for the reporting, please substitute it with the questions that are asked here. I wouldn't want to. There are some questions you need to ask to actually and upload these files, right? Okay. And other than that, you see there are IP addresses showing requests from one place to the other. There are ports there, okay,
Mm.
here. And if I wanted, assuming, like I told you, using posts, you can be able to get what the user um, is actually requesting, such as login and chats, right? And it's encoded, it's usually encoded. So part of this will be to decode it. Okay, so I think I will so assuming we want to decode it, right? This is a chat, right? And you can see it's a message. This means something. Okay, this means something, right? And when it's decoded, it's a message. Okay, so I'll challenge you to decode this and actually tell what message this is. And there are tools online that you can actually use to decode this. Okay, like 64 decode. It's also you can use to decode this, right? It's a message. Okay, and that exposes you network traffic analysis, because there are a lot of things to consider here. And here, you need to answer some questions like I told you, like what was used, okay? How can you stop data exfiltration and security analysis? So in fact, it's two part of the piece, right? As you can see, and doing this, going over this will actually um, allow you to actually answer these questions. However, this is not something that will take a week. This is for today, please. Okay, this is for today. So, and because considering the fact that we'll be having our presentation on 15th, 15th will be a weekday, but please let's ensure that we can at least be able to contribute. I know some of us will probably be busy, but let's try and see that okay, uh, we attend and we can actually gain something out of it. Then after that, we'll be building AI agents for cybersecurity use cases. Okay, so I really would love it if we keep flowing that way, right? So this particular tax is for today, please. Okay, and like I said, you enroll here, you answer all the questions. You also get a certificate of completion right here, and this is a project you can also add, to your GitHub or on your LinkedIn in the project section, right? So I'll be taking questions in case. Yeah, Mr. Chike.
No, it's me, Gideon.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I just wanted to ask the message. Where
Mhm.
is the message coming from? Is it coming from like a Zoom or like Microsoft Teams? Let's assume we're in a real company now,
Yeah,
and you want to analyze for messages. Is it
yeah.
like so? Where is the message? Is it like general message or maybe WhatsApp or because I know WhatsApp
Applicate.
has
Yeah,
this thing, what do you call it,
end-to-end
encryption,
encryption.
end-to-end encryption. So does
Yeah.
WhatsApp still get those messages and encode it while we decode it? Or like how does it access it, or is it just like a normal, maybe I don't know, maybe the company builds a normal website chat for the company to interact? I know that one we can get that one, but if it's for
So
like an in-app, does it get it?
yeah, thank you for this question. Okay. Um, what Wireshark does is it listens to packet, right? Literally, it's just like you uh, assuming it's just like you talking to someone and I'm overhearing. Okay, I'm trying to catch the details, right, of whatever you're doing. So some may come incomplete, like constructed, just like what we have, while some may be incomplete. And when it's end to end encrypted, it becomes difficult. Difficult. That capability is reliant on Wireshark itself to actually capture that, right? It's I'll tell you most of the times when it's end to end encrypted, okay, that is you followed best practices in your application regarding encryption. Wireshark may not be able to capture that, but if it's insecure, the rest assured it will be able to capture that, right? And this is just a simulated activity to let you have the understanding that okay, um, when it's a post method, you can be able to check the login and the charts. And I believe you also be practicing as well to see, okay, what applications do reveal and are not encrypted properly and do reveal stuff such as this. Okay, they are enormous. There are lots of them that do not follow cybersecurity best practices, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you very much for that question. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah. So that being said, I've already sent the link to this course. It doesn't need approval, like I told you. Just request it. Okay, you'll be able to join immediately, and you can be able to start the project. And if you haven't downloaded Wireshark or text editor or the pickup itself, don't bother. You can get it here. Okay, you can be able to download it right here. Okay, so everything is explained, and even the file extensions. Okay, you can see them here, right? So, and using that, and there's even an example just in case, and this is for JPG. Okay, which it all follows same format other than the file signatures, right? So just in case you are lost somewhere, you can be able to come to the example and you watch it out, right? You get to see where you are lacking. Then you should be able to answer these questions. You upload two files here, two files here. You upload the JPG and the PNG files. Okay, you upload the PDF and the zip file. Then you answer these questions, right? Like which port used in the packet capture is most susceptible to man-in-the-middle attacks, right? So, and if you check man-in-the-middle, how the nature of man-in-the-middle attacks, and unsecure ports, this is HTTP, it uses 180.
80.
Yeah, so at least I've given you a hint, right? And you can see how can a SOC analyst identify login attempt in Wireshark. We've already discussed that. This is another hint.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah. So please just attempt this. I assure you this project is valid. It exposes you um, to digital investigation, which is the core strength of a cybersecurity analyst in general, right? Because most of what we do, I will tell you, is the strength lies in investigation, how you're able to make informed decisions based on uh, uh, situation at hand and how you're able to investigate to make sense of data, right? Which pickup is one of them. Okay, so and I guess that will be all. And just so you know, I'll be monitoring to actually see what everyone is doing, so I can offer you guidance based on questions which you've answered here. So I'll be able to send the messages and all that, whether an individual or as a group, to see okay where some are related and all. Okay. So yes, Mr. Gideon.
So just one last question.
Yeah, yeah.
This URL on the chart is for the picker download, right?
Pardon.
This link now on the chart
Okay, on the
what?
chart.
Is for what?
Okay, there are basically two links here. One is for the pickup file. You can totally ignore this. You can just enroll here and download the pickup anyway from
Okay.
here. And this is the link to the course section,
Oh,
right?
because okay.
To the
Quickly, can
course,
you
yeah.
upload it on like the WhatsApp group? Because once you end this call now, it's gone from this place. Is it possible?
You mean what do you want uploaded
Let's say like this second link now that I said is the
for this
link to
course,
the
right?
course. Yeah. If you
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll share this in the group. So
okay.
yeah. So
I think it's already shared on the group.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. And then the
perfect.
Wireshark, can we use it to also analyze our own home traffic, like home network
Yes.
traffic?
Yes, you can, and that's what I meant when I said you can also be practicing. Okay.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, you can.
okay.
You can. And not just that, a lot of different industries use it for different things. In telecommunications, it's used to also listen to call conversations, there's something we call CDR, call detail records. Okay. Uh, well, that's for another day. However, I'm just trying to let you know that it's not limited. Wireshark is used broadly, right? It's not limited. So, that being said, um, I think we've come to the end of this session, and like I said, I will expect, since the session initially should be till 7:30. Okay, I believe I'll be monitoring to see what is actually happening from the side, to see what processes or what steps you're actually doing rather, and how I can also guide. So be rest assured that whatever you're doing, I'm also watching, I'm following along,
So
right?
please,
However, if you are not able to even do it in an hour time, by the end of today, I believe I should be able to, everyone should be able to complete it, right? Yes, Mr. Chike?
I actually raised up my hand because of the completion. I don't know. Is it possible to carry it till tomorrow or next? Now I'm actually talking about for my own self because I might not be able to complete it today, but by tomorrow or next. And then there are some persons who said this time frame will not actually be feasible for them. So they
Hmm.
won't be able to they will obviously have to watch the video at a later time, which might be
Okay.
probably tomorrow. I don't know if you
Okay.
can just if you could give us like a time limit, maybe on or before the 14th, or on or before maybe today's date is 12th. Yeah, on or
Today's
before
12.
14th.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. However, I'm considering our presentation on 15. So if at all it wouldn't conflict, if at all you
No,
can
I
work.
said 14th, not 15th. For on or
Okay.
before 14th. 1 4.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. So yeah, I can see someone raising. Please, you can unmute. Yeah,
All right. Good
Babatunde,
evening.
Mr. Babatunde. Yeah, good evening.
Yes,
If-
good evening.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask if we could have this particular video, this recorded session rendered.
Yes, I
On,
believe it's recorded. Mr. Chike, is this recorded? It's recorded. It's recorded. So I believe it will be shared to the group
thank
as
you.
well. You are welcome. So a lot of you have also reached out regarding the master class, which we've already started actually. But for those who are still interested, okay, we can also make room for you, right? And the essence, the goal of it all is such that you are positioned properly, okay, and that's exactly what we are doing, okay. So that being said, uh, thank you all for joining. Uh, Mr. Dada Aliu, I think that's the only for now. That's the only accepted uh, payment method we have for now. Okay, bear with us, right? So and uh, I guess till we meet again on 14th, on 15th rather, on 15th. So like I said, I'll be on the watch out. I'll be on the lookout for every process which you'll be doing, and I'll be giving guidance based on what you're actually doing. So if at all you are not getting the right answers, please do not do a trial and error or just a guesswork with the questions, with the quiz. If you do not understand, it's okay, right? You just need to communicate, and we'll schedule a session such that uh, I'll put you through bit by bit, right? But I believe you wouldn't have any challenge, right? So thank you all for joining. This point, you have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.